Welcome back, everyone, to the Sports Bay Roundtable podcast. Today, we've got some fresh news for you. A very eventful day for all the Barca fans. Xavi Hernandez has officially returned to the club as the manager of FC Barcelona after Ronald Koeman was sacked within the past week. Barcelona right now not looking really good domestically or in European terms in the UCL. Quite an interesting signing, quite an interesting appointment of a manager. And today I've got exactly the right man with me to talk about Xavi, to talk about Barcelona. We've got Ashutosh, who's been supporting Barcelona since a long period of time. Ashutosh, how's the feeling around the club? How are the fans feeling? And most importantly, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Regarding Xavi, I think it's pretty much a very mixed feeling from my side, honestly. Yeah, it's great to see a club legend, midfield maestro, to come to the club and coach the players. It's an advantage position for him because he knows most of the players. He has played with them and he knows their weak points, as he said in the press conference today. So he knows where to push them, where to press them, and where he can improve. But again, the experience comes a little bit handy here. He has just managed a Qatar team, Al Sadd, not a very big league. So I honestly still am having bit of anxiousness regarding his managerial skills because see, it's La Liga, it's Barcelona, so you can't expect to get the same results you get in a small league and replicate it in such a big league such as La Liga. So you
Yeah, I
never know.
mean, he's coming in at a very tough time for Barcelona because right now you guys are way off top four. You guys are also struggling to make it to the knockout stages of the Champions League. There is a possibility that you might make it to Europa. You might not even make it to Europa. And then when he's coming into the league, he has to face managers like Diego Simeone, like Lopetegui, like Carlo Ancelotti, who are there and who've been there for a long period of time, who've done this job at this level so many times. So, I mean, what is the basic amount of knowledge which you have gained about Xavi, which makes you think that he might be having a chance against these top class managers, against these world class managers, and turning Barcelona into a side which the Barca fans have been wanting to see ever since Koeman came in.
He has joined actually at a pretty bad time because usually when a new manager comes in, he expects the club to back him financially so that he can make transfers, he can bring in new players and make the team according to him. But right now, considering the financial situation of Barcelona, I don't think they'll be backing him too much in the winter transfer window. By the summer transfer window, the things might get even up, but still, right now, there's no such indication. So yeah, that is a problematic thing for him at this point. Considering the experience, I think he is lacking a lot. Uh, like if you compare him to Ancelotti or Simeone, so they have been doing this job for a long time. They have been excelling in it, and you can see how well Atletico and Real Madrid have been playing this season. So yeah, he'll be up against the wall. He'll be up against an opponent. But when you remember how Xavi used to play in his Barcelona days, how he used to control the midfield, you can observe that he has that mind, that midfield mind, that possession mind, that typical Barcelona tiki-taka mind that could be useful right now for the team because that is what they're lacking. They lack especially in sustaining the pressure once they lose the ball. Like yeah, they can possess the ball, they can take the ball forward, but once they lose it in the attacking third, that's when they crack. So maybe he can help them fix it.
No, no, look, certainly. His CV from Qatar speaks a lot about him. We have seen clips of Al Sadd playing fantastic football in Qatar, but of course, there's a huge gap between a country like Qatar and Spain and the kind of football which is played there. Xavi, as a player, has passed around the midfield for decades. Uh, but coming to this as a manager, we saw another midfield maestro come into the managerial role last season for Juventus, Andrea Pirlo. Everyone was talking very highly of his CV. how he could deliver results. I think his CV got 100 on 100 from UEFA, and he passed all his tests with flying colors. But when it came to managing Juventus and taking them out of that,
He collapsed.
that hole which Maurizio Sarri had dug, and to take them till the Champions League, he faltered because he had never managed a side that big before. Not to forget, he did manage to win two trophies. He did manage to win the Super Cup and the Domestic Cup, but the UCL was more or less the same. But the problem arose when he couldn't win the league, when he struggled to finish top four that season. A lot of people sympathized with him, but do you feel right now that Xavi, even if he manages to win like a domestic trophy this season, like the Copa del Rey or maybe the Super Cup, which will be in January, do you think the Barcelona hierarchy or the Barcelona fans are going to be content with that? Do you think that the standards of the club are going to allow him to stay in the job for another season if he fails to deliver any major kind of achievement in terms of Champions League qualification or just finishing top four?
Considering the situation of the injuries of the players, like there are a lot of players who are injured, and considering he's entering mid-season where the club is not at all in a good position, it's getting pressure from everywhere, whether it's domestically or from UCL. So yeah, if he is able to grab a couple of trophies like Copa del Rey or the Super Cup, and maybe finish in a respectable position in the league as well, so I think that will be enough for the management to back him. That should be enough. But the thing is, they should not be content, like they should not be satisfied with it for the next season. They must aim higher. They must aim for European glory, or at least get back to the winning ways in the league. At least that's the minimum requirement which you must expect from a club like FC Barcelona.
You know, Joan Laporta came in as the new president this time around, and he has worked with Xavi before, even though Xavi was a player at that point of time. So they've got a relationship which which has outlasted a lot of tough years at Barcelona before. And not to forget that Joan Laporta is a man with a vision for Barcelona at the moment. But uh, taking all of these factors in, we have seen player managers or player turned managers become great or become fairly mediocre. We've seen the likes of Pep Guardiola, we've seen the likes of Zinedine Zidane, who've just come in mid-season or at the start of the season, completely transformed the team, and then gone on to win great things. Then we've seen managers like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. We've
Lampard.
seen we've seen Lampard, who have come in, who've done a decent job at probably stabilizing things at the club. They both came in at a tough time, but then they couldn't take the club to the next level. So
Yeah.
at least one of them had to be sacked, and a proper manager needed to be brought in. And then we've seen managers who have completely failed at trying to manage teams, even though that they were good players in the past. They've just completely faltered. We saw Gary Neville falter in La Liga as the Valencia coach, for one. So out of these three kinds of managers which we've seen, which we've experienced over the past, let's say, 10 years, where do you see Xavi along the lines of one of them?
I'd compare him very much, I guess, to Andre Pirlo because it is very similar. Like he was a club legend at Juventus. Same goes for Xavi. He's a club legend at Barcelona. Considering the experience, yeah, Xavi has a bit of an upper hand because Pirlo, I don't think he had managed any club before Juventus, I believe.
No, he
That was his
wasn't.
first club. Yeah, but Xavi has managed a club in Qatar, but it's in Qatar. That is the main thing that you have to take in account. If it would have been in some bigger league, maybe the Portuguese league or something, then it would have been a much more significant improvement. But since it's Qatar, I won't count on it much, but it's a very similar situation. The hype is very similar. Pirlo faced a very similar hype and a very similar expectations when he came to Juventus, and he like faltered. He lost the league, which they were winning since the last 10 years, I believe. They lost it to Inter. So let's see how it pans out. But yeah, the similar, I compare him to Pirlo's situation a lot here.
Even looking back at Andrea Pirlo, there are a lot of Juventus fans who feel that he wasn't really the reason why Juventus didn't win. Because even after getting Massimiliano Allegri now in the summer, they're in a worse off position than what they were last year.
Point.
So a lot of people thought that probably they were a bit too harsh on Andrea Pirlo, and that he should have been given a chance to continue his project, to continue his
I'd
vision.
still say it was
Because
Ronaldo saving his ass.
I would still say that I think he had a vision. He had a vision of bringing in youth into the club, which Juventus really needed.
Hmm.
And I think he had a vision of trying to base the team around Ronaldo. I don't think Maurizio Sarri or Massimiliano Allegri have ever been those kind of managers to base the team around one player. But moving on from that fact, Xavi comes into a Barcelona team which does not have Lionel Messi. We all know if Lionel Messi would have been here, he probably would have been the happiest person to be coached by Xavi because they've played together for so many years. But he's not. So now he has to deal with one problem less in comparison to Andrea Pirlo. Andrea Pirlo came in and he had Cristiano Ronaldo and he knew that Cristiano Ronaldo had to be the center of the project. Xavi can have his pick from a lot of players. You've got Pedri, you've got De Jong, you've got Depay, you've got Dembele. Whenever he's not in the hospital, you've got Dembele. You've got Ansu Fati, who got injured, but Ansu Fati is also here. So, just looking at all of these players, all of these young, talented players, which ones do you think are going to stand out under Xavi Hernandez and the kind of philosophy he's going to employ at Barcelona?
I think one advantage that Xavi has in Barcelona is there are a lot of upcoming youth players. You have seen Pedri, you have like especially from La Masia, you have Ricky Puig, you have Ansu Fati, in defense Ronald Araujo, Mingueza. A lot of them have been coming up, so he has a bit of less burden to incorporate that new youth into the team. He already has up and coming players who have gained experience and who have shown that they have potential. If he can just put the right pieces at the right place, he might just crack the formula. Second of all, a player that might stand out, I guess it's going to be Ansu Fati. He's going to be the center of attraction because every time that guy has played, he has scored goals, he has assisted, or he has shown that he can damage the opposing team no matter how the rest of the team is playing. So if Xavi can stabilize the midfield, get them to absorb the pressure which they get on the counter attacks, and then use it to reinforce the attacks, I believe it can really work out well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Barcelona's squad has ever been a problem. The quality in the squad has ever been a problem.
Yeah,
There are so
exactly.
many players in Barcelona right now which other clubs would love to buy. Despite losing Messi and Griezmann in the same window, despite not having Aguero fit. So I really do have a feeling that Jean Laporta might have just gotten this one right because they really needed a person to come in to support these young players, which Ronald Koeman was not able to do, and to employ the right kind of philosophy in terms of tactic, which Ronald Koeman was again not able to do without Lionel Messi. So might as well have cracked the code. But my personal opinion, can he take Barcelona to the Champions League final, or make them in the league in a year? I would say very tough. I think
It's too soon.
it's
It's
just
too
because the
soon to
kind
say.
of position he's come into in.
Yeah,
I think it's tough.
yeah,
If
and it's too
Messi
soon to
or
say anything
Neymar
right
or
now about it.
Suarez, either one of them was here, if he had that pivotal point in attack, I think
Yeah,
he could have done really well domestically. But right now, I think he's going to be starting where Arteta is starting with Arsenal. So
correct.
this just might be a very long process.
Yeah, it's too soon to say anything right now because he honestly does not have players. There are a lot of injured players, like a lot of them, especially their main players whom you can actually count on. So yeah, it's gonna be hard, but if he can just play his moves right, he might get something out of them. At least he'll be able to get them in a better position so that the fans, the team, and the management can expect better results next season. I would not say that he'll just come in, he'll do wonders, and he'll win every single match there is to come. That's not possible.
Yeah, I guess that really sums it up. Quite an interesting time to be an FC Barcelona fan. Good to see a legend come back, the welcome which he was given.
It was
Now
depressing
it's all
until now.
business again.
So
Yes, quite depressing until now, especially if you're a Barca fan and a United fan. Heads up, you're Ashutosh. It is depressing. But good news on one front, hopefully, good news following in from the other front as well. But till then, I think that'll be it for this video. And thank you for joining us, Ashutosh. Thank you for sharing your views regarding Xavi and Barcelona. Always great having you here. And for everyone else, please make sure to like and subscribe to our channel. We will be back with more videos and more content. Till then, see you.